Hello, Sean here with a quick review of the Tenergy T320 portable power station. I picked this up off of Amazon. I believe I paid $189 for it a couple weeks ago. I've been putting through its paces. I just want to give a quick review of it. I want to start off by explaining why I purchased this unit over some other types. The primary reason I went with Tenergy over, say, Jackery or Anchor is that the battery chemistry in this is LiFePO4, which is lithium iron phosphate 4. The reason I picked up that specific battery is because it has a higher tolerance for low and high temperatures. It also has an estimated 2,000 recharge cycles as opposed to, say, 500 with some other units. So the longevity of this should be much, much better. Just a quick overview of what I'm seeing here. Again, just a picture of the box. Can recharge via solar panel, which I did purchase a Tenergy 60 watt solar panel as well, which I may speak about in a different review. However, I do want to give just a little overview on this. It does have a light, fast solar charging, and again, the wide working temperature. One critical piece that is incorrect on this box, they have since updated their documentation after I asked about it, but this can indeed charge via 45 watt USB-C. So the USB-C port is both input and output. However, it is limited to 45 watt PD. However, that does give it multiple ways to charge. So just a little bit of information there. And the specifications, which you can read online obviously, but I did want to point out that the operating temperature is 14 Fahrenheit to 104 Fahrenheit, and recharging is 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, just a picture on there, and just some rough estimates about how long it'll take, how many charges that each individual device can get out of the unit in general. This is I believe a 300 watt hour battery. It has a maximum output of 200 watts. I can tell you that it will output the full 200 watts without problems. I've tested it in several different ways. However, my specific use case for this device is I have to take my laptop with me for work. And unfortunately, the power supply on that device can use 170 watts, so which is well above 120 or 150 watts available within a car cigarette lighter output. So I was looking at doing power inverters, but I was going to have to punch my way through a firewall. So I decided that this would be a safer way of doing so. Now, to be clear, even though this has a higher working temperature, I am not planning on storing this in a car. It will travel with me in a car. However, it is highly recommended that this not be stored in a car. But it will be traveling with me and coming into different places with me. So with that said, what I really enjoyed about this unit is how small it is. It's kind of hard to picture or give an example of what it looks like, but if you take an average, say, 2-slice toaster, which, you know, obviously varies, however, that's roughly the size of unit that you're looking at for this. Just to be clear, you cannot run heating elements off of this because the maximum output, again, is 200 watts. A little bit about it. It does have a light and an SOS feature. Just using the light, turn it off by pressing the button. If you want to use the SOS, hold down the button once it's on, and it'll start doing that mode. To turn it off, just press the light again, turn it off. You saw when I turned on that light, it also turned on the DC power. Press that button, it turns off. You can see that it's 95% charged at the moment. This, I am able to pull out 90 watts out of this. I have no doubts that this could pull 120. However, just know that I was able to consistently pull 90 watts out of that without any problems to use a DC charger for a separate laptop that I own. On top of that, I do have the input here. This input is a maximum of 45 watts. So in my experience, it states that it could take 8 hours to fully charge, and that is accurate. So that is one of the biggest pieces I wish that could change. I really wish you could throw, say, a 60 or 90 watt input into that and to speed that up. However, it does work reliably. Please note that the power brick that comes with it does get extremely warm. I wouldn't say it gets burnably hot, but it is uncomfortable to touch after a little while. So please be mindful of that when you do use it. USB-A ports work great. No problems with that. Again, the USB-C, this is both an input and an output at 45 watts. I have used both, and it works wonderfully. The AC power has a combined of 200 watt max. However, I was able to pull 170 watts out of one individual plug. So this isn't split 100-100 or anything like that. You can theoretically get 200 watts out of each one, even though I did not test 200 watts total out of the AC. And most importantly for my uses, it is pure sine wave. Which a laptop battery would be able to handle, but if you're looking to use something more delicate, like a CPAP or something along those lines, that's going to be critical for you. I will say that I was plugging in a 170 watt adapter here, plugged in my phone and was charging my Switch, and it was pulling right around 190, 195. It had no issues doing so. A couple things of note with the device itself. On the side, there is a fan. The fan is here. It does blow quite a bit of air. It's not overly loud. It is a little higher pitched, but is not distracting or too loud in my use case at all. I will say, when you do put a full load on it, it does not automatically turn on the fan. It only turns on the fan once the battery, or whenever the temperature gets hot enough that it utilizes. It needs the fan with that. The back of the unit here, again, just more specs, basically what's on the unit itself. Again, the lithium ion LiFePO 4, and basically the same specs that was on there. And again, the warning, do not exceed 200 watts with all devices simultaneously plugged into the AC outlet. Again, just the light there, and again, more vent ports. On the bottom of the device gives you a little bit of information about the unit. Again, do not overcharge. It does state, it's not intended for use for commercial uses, that kind of thing. So, with all that said, that's been my use case for it. It is very light. The weight does slip past me at the moment, but it did match what was on the website. And everything that's in the manual that I found is to be accurate at this point. A couple other niceties about this device as well is it does have a controller for the input that will regulate the wattage that comes into the device. So I am currently opening a ticket with Tenergy. I do have a solar panel that I've used as well. Get that out quickly. It's a Tenergy 60 watt solar panel. It is bundled on Amazon as well, with certain purchases of the T320. The bundle was unavailable when I went to use it. I bought them individually. Again, the operating temperature range is very similar to what you saw on the T320 unit as well. I will say this combination, together, I was only able to pull about 36 watts out of this solar panel. Now, that was in full sun, as much angled as I could possibly get to get the maximum efficiency. This was with a UV index of 9 out of 10, 90-degree day in the Midwest, direct sun. So I am looking to see if there's a problem with that at all. However, I do know the unit itself can take 45 watts. It's not a limiting factor with that because I did use USB-C with that device. But in general, I have used it to charge laptops. I've used it to charge phones, tablets. I ran a fan for a while. I've used it for multiple different purposes, and it's worked really well for me. I may review on this again later on, but in the 2 weeks I've been using it, it's been great. I want to thank you for watching this quick review.